Hello everyone. I welcome you all to the focus group webinar on enhanced deduplication in Zoho CRM with auto merge and more. You'll learn how to move a step closer towards cleaner CRM data in this webinar. Before we start off, I'd like to check if I'm audible and if the screen is visible clearly. Let me know either through the chat or the questions panel if something is off. Some housekeeping information before we get started. The audio is available through your computer and attendees are muted. Ask questions using the questions interface in GoToWebinar toolbar. A quick word about me. I'm Lieben, Community Manager at Zoho. As part of the community team, I help build educational content, engagement, and user experience strategy of Zoho Community, a commitment that keeps me on my toes every day. To give you a bit of background, our team is focused on building a platform where you, our users, partners, and we can connect and engage with each other. We'll share more details on what we do towards the end of the session. Let me now introduce you to our panelists who are with me. Dilip, Head of Product Management for Zoho CRM, and Shalini, our lead developer. They'll respond to your questions as we go. To make it worth your while, thought I'd start off with a small story. Let's assume you are a sales administrator of a small company. Just returned from a roadshow at Vegas where you interacted with a prospect and collected the required details and added the prospect in CRM. When you're all set to follow up, the same prospect downloads a white paper from your website after providing some details, creating a fresh lead into CRM. 2 records for the same lead is created, and if there is no proper mechanism to track duplication, 2 of your sales representatives follow up on the same prospect. Apart from the unwanted consumption of your resources, vagueness in data leads to higher risks in like invalid reports, lower customer satisfaction, higher spam counts, and loss of revenue. Imagine the case of a large enterprise sprawled across the globe. With a boatload of duplicate data, you certainly need a magic wand to wipe off all the unwanted data. So today, let's see how to work towards a cleaner CRM. I'll walk you through the proactive and reactive ways of managing the duplicate data in your Zoho CRM. To avoid any technical glitches during the webinar, I'm going to play the screen recording from a local server. And also, I'm going to steal a minute of yours to tell you about the community learning series that we have come up with to help our users enjoy the full potential of Zoho CRM, and not to miss the Q&A session towards the end. First, I'm starting off with the proactive duplicate data management. One simple thing you need to do to deal with duplicate data is to mark certain fields as unique. I repeat, mark certain fields as unique. Fields like email IDs, phone numbers, identification numbers like social security, passport, etc. are very good and widely used examples of unique fields. So when configured, these fields prevent the creation of duplicate data in Zoho CRM. Even when you manually create a record or import through APIs, web forms, etc. So let me show you how this works in the product. Go to Setup and choose Modules under the Customization section. Choose a module and go to Layouts. Here, you can choose any field that you wanted to have as a unique field. So for the demonstration purpose, I'm going to keep email and phone as unique fields. Save the layout. Now let's go to the Leads module. I'm choosing Leslie's profile. All right. When I try to clone this particular user, CRM doesn't allow me because the email and the phone numbers of this particular record are not unique. So the next question is, who can configure this option? Any user with module customization profile permission will be able to mark a field as unique. I repeat, a user with module customization profile permission can mark a field as unique. I'll now show you where to configure this in the product. Go to Setup again. Under Users and Control, choose Security Control. You can either create a new profile or choose to provide this privilege to the existing profiles. So for the demonstration purpose, I'm going to create a new profile. I'm giving the profile name as Sales Manager. All right. So modules customization. This particular role is enabled by default to any administrative roles. So a user with this particular role enabled can mark a field as unique. So the next question is, what happens when unique fields are enabled? All the administrators are notified on enabling and disabling this feature, and all the users are alerted when they create a record with the already existing details. Imagine a scenario where a lead is converted, that is, a converted lead put under the contacts module. Preventing this lead to be duplicated in CRM is possible with the help of cross-module duplicate check. While marking a field as unique, you will be prompted to check for duplicate records in the converted leads module as well. Let me show that in the product now. Go to Setup again and Modules. So when you check on this option, the system will check for duplicates on the leads as well as the converted leads module. Now I'm converting Leslie from the list view. I'm going to add a new lead with Leslie's email address. So when you save, CRM doesn't allow you to create a new lead with the already existing data. So let's view Leslie's profile again. If you could see, Leslie's email is already there here, and it is under the contacts module. Few things to remember. It would be good if you could note these for your so make sure you enable unique fields separately for the leads and contacts module. And you cannot remove a unique field from the module layout. Email deduplication will not be possible in the following scenarios. So when you update or add records using Zoho Sheet View, when you migrate data, when you restore records from the recycle bin, and when you synchronize contacts using Zoho CRM plugin for Microsoft Outlook, Google Contacts, sync features, etc. Some of you might be having this question. I can do this and prevent duplicate data being created anymore. But how do I manage the existing duplicates? So those of you having to deal with the existing duplicates can choose the following two methods. Either you can find and merge duplicates, which is a manual process, and deduplicate records, that is a completely automated process. Both of these functions help you to organize your data, but it is important to know when to apply which function. Let me explain the difference between the two methods. When you're particularly finding a record's duplicates to merge. For example, if you're searching for a lead called David Smith, all the records with a lead name called David Smith will be displayed to you. And when you want Zoho CRM to run a duplication check and merge all the identical duplicate records in the database, then you should go for de-duplicate records. Again, there are a few points to note here. When you opt for the manual merge, you merge only 3 records at a time from the results obtained, whereas the auto merge merges all the records that matches the specific criteria. The find and merge tool is only available for the leads, accounts, contacts, and vendor modules. Once merged, the action cannot be reverted. In auto merge, by default, the record with the latest activity time is considered as the master. However, you have the choice to retain any of the chosen records as master. So I'll be explaining the concept of master records a bit later. Now let me show you how this works in the product. So from this lead Carissa, I'm going to find and merge the duplicates. So there are 6 standard fields with which you can search for the duplicates. So I'm choosing these 3 records. If you see, the first and the last record have the same email address, whereas James's record has the same phone number as the others. So this is where you can view the details of your master record. So this will be displayed in the leftmost panel with a slightly grayed out background. So all the other 3 chosen records are displayed besides that. So here I've chosen record 3 as the master record and even choose specific values to be there in the master records. I'm choosing the first name, email, lead source, and lead status. Now, when I merge, all the attachments, leads, and notes will be transferred to the mastered record. So the records have been merged successfully. So from the list view, now I'm going to show the deduplicate leads. So before getting into the deduplicate leads option, I thought it would be better to explain the concept of conflicts. A conflict occurs when 2 or more records match entirely except for certain fields. So Zoho CRM does not know which record to consider as the master and hence identifies such records as conflicts, and these records are merged manually. There are 2 ways to resolve a conflict. Either you resolve immediately or later. In case you are unable to resolve the conflict as and when you are alerted through a pop-up, you can choose to resolve the conflict later. In such cases, you are notified through an email with the deduplication details along with a link to resolve the conflict. However, this link is valid for 3 days and you can merge only 3 records at a time, as similar to find and merge. Sounds good? Now let me show you how this works in the product. So you can choose the unique fields with which you can find your duplicate records. So I'm choosing email and company. The duplication has started. Now, there are 4 exactly matching identical leads are merged successfully. So CRM does this in the background. So imagine a case where you have 10, hundreds, and thousands of identical records. This cannot be done manually, isn't it? So CRM takes the pain of merging all these identical records in the background. So, and few duplicate leads with conflicts are found. So let's go and resolve them now. So under the 2 fields that we already chose, there are two records that has duplicate values. So I'm choosing James's record, which has 4 duplicates. So in this view, if you see all the, many of the fields have the same value except certain fields like lead source, lead status, or industry. So you can choose 3 of them. I'm going to merge 3 because that is the maximum number that you can merge at a time. Again, the concept of master records comes into the play. So now if you see, there are just 2 duplicate records. Previously there were 4. Let's do the same for the company field as well. So one of the records have been merged. Yes, folks, I've shared all that I wanted to on de-duplication in this session. I'm sure you have a lot of questions and our panelists are getting ready to fill them in. Before we take the questions, thought I'll take a minute to let you in on what's happening on our community. As I said, we'd want you to leverage ZOHO Community to connect with each other and share your experiences. We're also building a centralized repository of content resources that help our users and partners to do a better CRM. Let me show you some resources. The community. I am sure some of you have asked questions, proposed ideas, and reported issues here. We appreciate your contributions so far. We'd also like you to leverage community as a platform to engage with your peers, support and learn from each other. Not just peers, you can extend your network to ZOHO product experts and partners. The idea of focus groups is to hear our users out. The focus group reaches out to users who have asked for a feature or an enhancement on the community. The session aims to give you a quick preview if the feature is in beta or a walkthrough if it has been released already. So this is the third of the focus groups on our community. So talk to us more and let's move forward towards building a better CRM together. We also started a couple of knowledge sharing series that you might want to follow. The tips and tricks series where we share a new tip every Thursday. Our support and user education teams are actively involved in these series. They look at some of the untapped features or the ones on which most users have questions and need assistance and come up with a set of best practices to optimize your CRM. Another one is the Automate Using Custom Functions series every Tuesday where we handpick some of the requirements that are addressed outside the box using custom functions. We present them in the possible business scenarios so it helps you get the context. You're most welcome to post your requirements and share your feedback on this. The last in this series is the CRM hacks from the support desk. Our support folks have started contributing 1 hack a week to optimize the utility of ZOHO CRM. You're now looking at a snapshot of a hack published yesterday. Apart from that, you can access the resources related to CRM from the widgets named Community Resources from the right panel in your ZOHO CRM forum. Taking a closer look at these widgets, the resources that we are talking about are highlighted with the red tick marks. Looks like our panelists are eager to answer your questions. So time for Q&A. There you go. So Robin has asked a question, are you going to add the find and merge function to custom modules? Robin, as of now, we don't have that, but we do have plans to extend it. So there's a question from Bill Quinn. Does it pick up duplicates between leads and contacts? Bill, no, it is only either on leads or on contacts. So Robin has another question. What about if one record has a value and the other doesn't? Robin, in that case, they will be considered as conflicts. I hope I have answered your question. So there's one more question. How many duplicate records can I merge in CRM? For records that have exactly same data, auto merge will be done for all the records without any restrictions. Manually, you will be able to merge 3 records at a time. One more. What will happen to the activities associated with each record after I have merged them? All the activities associated with a record will be carried over to the master record and will be accessible. And there's another. Can I prevent duplicate records from being generated in CRM? If so, how? Yes, you can do that by creating unique fields. So there's another. I'm not able to see the de-duplication tool. Right. So you will be able to access the de-duplication feature only if you are using Zoho CRM's Professional Edition or above. So there's one more. On what basis do we merge the records? The feature enables filtering first based on the fields you have chosen and then checks if all the fields of the records are exactly matched. More. So why do we skip the owner IDs while comparing? Different owners following the same record is wrong, and hence if they are exact duplicates, we don't consider owner's field. Which latest activity time do we consider in this process? Instead of using that of a record created a long time back, we use the latest touch time of the master record. So if I import a lead that is already existing in contacts, can Zoho alert me? I'm thinking web forms that import to leads, but the person is already a contact. Yes, on importing, we are actually implementing, but on the manual creation and through web forms, it is supported. What is automatic in de-duplication now? So automatic is the merging of records without user's intervention when the values of each and every field of the duplicate records are identical. So as I said in the presentation, imagine a case where you have thousands of identical records to be merged. In that case, it is very difficult for a person to go and check each and every field in a record and merge them manually, right? Okay, there's an interesting question. If email was not a required field and you had 2 contacts without email addresses, would they still be merged? If email is not a required field based on some other field which you are interested, the de-duplication will happen. So our panelists are here very busy hunting answers for you. Now I'm going to hand over to Dilip, our product development head. So he will answer some of your questions.
Hi everybody. Just wanted to clarify a repeated question. The question is whether I can able to check duplicates between the leads and contacts. So this question has been asked several times, so I just want to clarify this to everybody. If you can see the screen now, say for example, I'm going to mark this phone number as the unique field, so I'm clicking on it. Fine. You can see now I've just marked the email field as unique. Now it gives me another option saying that do not allow duplicates. Under that it says duplicate checks applies among the converted leads too. Okay, so there is a preference, the change preference option. So by default what happens is, so when I click on that change preference, it gives this information. So by default, as soon as you identify a particular field as unique, automatically it goes and checks the same duplicates on the converted leads as well. So this is the most recently added feature. Probably in a couple of weeks ago we added this because we did get a lot of queries on this. So we implemented this a couple of weeks back. Hope this helps you. What happens is when a lead is created, it checks for the duplicates. Assume that there is no duplicate in leads. Well and good. Now the lead gets converted. What happens is when the process of conversion, the email ID, whatever the unique field that you have marked, that goes and checks for across all the contacts which got converted. Say for example, a particular email at johnsmith@abc.com, a lead is there. When it gets converted, johnsmith@abc.com will be checked for any duplicates available in the converted leads also. So if there are any duplicates, then it will not allow the user to convert. It would prompt the user saying that there is a duplicate exists in the contact. So this feature is implemented. If you do not want this check to happen, you can uncheck it. It won't, check the duplicates on the converted leads. If you save it, that's it. So now the duplicates check does not check the duplicates on the contact module. So this is the one feature which we have developed, and I would like to update you all on this. That's it.
So as the questions keep coming in, our panelists are busy answering them all. So we will answer the unanswered questions in the forums in a couple of days. So thank you all for joining this session. Watch our community for more focus group announcements. Just so you know, we'll share the recording of this session early next week and also post the question and answers for the benefit of those who could not join today. Thank you. Have an excellent day. Bye-bye.